On the other side of humanity's coin, we have Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family, a very dumb crime family, the Gambozos, if you will, and Don Jr., he's so embarrassing. He's on the stand, he's testifying in this $250 million fraud trial, and he has to compliment, he said his father is an artist.
Don Jr. gets destroyed by Jimmy Kimmel, then Trump loses it. Look, when it comes to the Trump family getting roasted on late-night TV, we usually focus on the big guy himself. But Jimmy Kimmel has been systematically dismantling Donald Trump Jr. for years now, and honestly, it's been brutal. And the best part is how it always ends up getting under Trump's skin, too. But before we get into this absolute carnage,
I'm not supposed to rely on a big five accounting firm, like one of the biggest accounting firms in the world. I can pay them millions of dollars. I rely on them to do accounting, but I'm supposed to know more than them. By this logic, insurance companies are going to start suing patients for listening to their doctors. Right? Do you understand? Like, am I supposed to know more? Oh, Don Jr. doesn't know anything about it. I'm not an accountant. I'm a business guy.
I'm a business guy who had his elbows soldered together, and now...
If you want to see more content exposing Trump and his family's hypocrisy, hit that subscribe button right now. Seriously, smash that like button, drop a comment below telling me what you think about Don Jr., and make sure you're subscribed because we're covering all the chaos the mainstream media won't touch. Alright, let's get into it. Let me walk you through the carnage. The Cosplay Grits Gobbler incident. September 2025. Trump posts some AI video dancing with the Cracker Barrel logo guy after the restaurant reversed a redesign. Weird flex, but okay. And who jumps in to defend this? Don Jr.
And while Don Jr. was in New York preparing to testify in court, his fiancée, Kimberly, was at the party dressed up as Trump's constituent, Snow White. Don Jr. was not at Daddy Donald's last night. The prodigal son was being grilled as part of the $250 million case against their business. There he is, tiny soprano. I wonder what's going through his head right now.
I should have worn makeup.
Oh, yeah. Good one. Here's the thing about Don Jr. What he lacks in intelligence, he also lacks in charisma. So,
posting WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel, like he's some kind of Southern comfort food warrior. Kimmel's response? Absolutely savage. Even Cosplay Grits Gobbler New York Prep School Nepo baby Don Jr. whined, WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel, Kimmel said. Then he added the kicker, as if he's ever been to a Cracker Barrel. And that's the thing, right? Don Jr. is a Manhattan prep school kid worth millions, pretending to be some kind of down-home patriot.
Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone, and his talent was never there. That I can't argue with. Shut the up. The freedom of speech is only for me. Do not interrupt the president. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in?
Kimmel just called it out in the most perfect way possible. Cosplay Grits Gobbler, I mean, come on, that's poetry. But this wasn't a one-time thing. Kimmel's been building this case against Don Jr. for years. The SpaceX cocaine incident. November 2024. Don Jr. tags along with his dad to watch Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket launch in Texas. Should be a normal photo op, right? Except cameras caught something interesting.
Cracker Barrel is Amish Applebee's. It's Apple B minus. It's barely a restaurant. It's a restaurant that sells yo-yos made of wood, okay? Calm down. But all the woke yokels were up in arms. Even Cosplay Grits Gobbler, New York Prep School Nepo baby Don Jr. whined, WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel, as if he's ever been to a Cracker Barrel. You ruined my rocking chair store. Maybe my favorite bit of misplaced outrage came from this gentleman who wrote, they got rid of a white guy from a logo and they are celebrating and patting themselves on the back for it. Yeah, yes, it's racism. White men are being erased from American logos. It's Caucasian icon genocide. I mean,
Jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage who puts the network in jeopardy. You hear that? There's the threat again, this time straight from FCC Biscuit's mouth. He says, I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers.
You know, I mentioned last night Trump was the guest of honor at a launch event for Elon Musk's new rocket, and he wasn't the only Donald Trump. Don Jr. was there, and he's been getting some unwanted attention for this. Now, let's look at that again in slow motion. He goes to the pocket, he fishes around, and well, let's not jump to conclusion. Maybe he's got some fun dip in there, you know.
And Don Jr. did it at a major public event, on camera, standing near the president-elect. The internet went crazy. Typical Coke move, people commented. Who carries loose cocaine in their pockets? Others defended him, saying maybe it was Zyn, a nicotine pouch. But here's the thing. Don Jr. has faced these allegations for years. He's appeared on broadcasts sniffling, rubbing his nose, speaking with way too much energy. At a Turning Point conference, he even felt the need to say, "I don't snort cocaine, it's not my thing."
I get it. My guys, who I stayed in touch with, many of them just dear friends, they're like, "Hey, dude, there's no way you would have gotten away with that." I go, "I know. Luckily, I don't snort cocaine. Like, it's not my thing."
When you have to deny something that specifically, yeah, people notice. And Kimmel, he just showed the footage. Let the audience draw their own conclusions. Sometimes the best comedy is just holding up a mirror. The allowance takedown. But wait, it gets better. Or worse, depending on if you're Don Jr. Also, in November 2024, Don Jr. posted a photo of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky with the caption, "POV, you're 38 days from losing your allowance."
His veneers were hurting and he needed a little dollop of Sensodyne. Whatever it was, it didn't stop DJ TJ from posting another super cool TikTok video from inside a rocket that unfortunately did not launch with him in it.
We're actually inside a Falcon Heavy rocket right now. Does not get cooler than this. Each one of these engines has the equivalent of 4 747 engines, each one. And there's dozens of them in these rockets. But each one of these guys, 4 747 engines.
He's fine, everybody. There's nothing to worry about at all. Where's Hunter?
The implication? Trump would cut off aid to Ukraine, a country that's been fighting off a Russian invasion since 2022. Kimmel's response was immediate and devastating. Bold words from a man who is definitely still on his father's phone plan, Kimmel said. Then he went further. If I was Donald Trump Jr., I wouldn't ever use the word allowance in any situation. What is his job? Is being horrible an occupation now? Think about that for a second.
With real estate. Yeah, he's an artist. He's Vincent Van Gogh to jail with real estate is what he is. He also boasted that his dad is the father of hotel gyms. He said, maybe someone put a gym in a building somewhere, but no one did it at the scale of my father. He's saying that his father, the father of the hotel gym, is a guy who's never stepped inside one, okay? The amount of ass kissing in this trial is insane. DJ TJ, of course, denies any and all wrongdoing and is instead going with the "our accountants did it" defense.
Don Jr., a 46-year-old man whose entire career exists because of his last name, is mocking a wartime president about allowances. A guy who leads his country through literal war, while Don Jr.'s biggest accomplishment is, what exactly? Posting on social media? Hawking overpriced merchandise? Kimmel praised Zelensky for leading his country through the darkest times imaginable, only to get mocked by someone who's never done anything without his father's money or name. That's not just comedy. That's a character assassination based entirely on facts.
I move my arms like a Muppet all the time. And with all the complaining the Trumps do about this trial playing out in the media, you could barely even turn the channel without seeing their lawyer doing an interview with somebody.
What have they been asking the kids? And tell me how they fit into all of this.
They don't fit into all of this. What have they been asking the kids? It's very simple. They'll ask the kids, did you give a value to somebody? Did you do something? And everybody said resoundingly no. And these kids did nothing wrong. They should not be in this case. Ivanka's already out of the case. The boys should not be in the case.
That's right. They're just boys. They're kids. Eric has a book report due this weekend. They're both still wearing pull-ups. They're on trial? I mean, come on.
The China hypocrisy exposed, September 2024. Kimmel decided to do some shopping. He went to Don Jr.'s website, where the guy sells MAGA merchandise with messages like FJB, fuck Joe Biden. The products claim to be designed and embroidered in the USA. Patriotic, right? The hypocrisy, they don't even try to hide it anymore, Kimmel said. I guess they don't need to hide it, nobody seems to notice. But Kimmel noticed. He actually ordered one of the hats. And when it arrived, made in China.
We sent somebody to his golf course. He has a golf course in Palos Verdes, not far from here, and also to Trump Tower in New York, where many of the items for sale, the Trump items, are made in, guess where? That's right, China. This pink knit scarf, this beautiful item, made in China. These Trump flasks, this shot glass, this very patriotic water bottle, this Trump, the American flag hat, made in China, this Trump military jacket, all made in China. Unbelievable.
Don Jr. is always talking about China, Kimmel pointed out. My father was tough on China. Hunter Biden's in bed with China. But the labels on the products he sells tell a very different story. There it is. Don Jr. built his brand on America First rhetoric, railing against China, attacking Hunter Biden for alleged Chinese business dealings. And the whole time, he's selling Chinese-made products to his supporters. That's not just hypocrisy, that's grifting. And Kimmel called it exactly what it was, the pattern nobody talks about.
It's beyond shameless. Now, this product is not an official. He does not, as far as I know, make any money from this. But this is an original piece of art. It's called Trumpy Trout. It's kind of like, you remember the Billy Bass? They came up with the Trumpy Trout. This is actually for sale. And if you...
I'm the biggest Trump in the pod, and there's no bigger Trump than me, and probably never will be. Let's make fishing great again.
Yeah, right. It's like,
And hey, if you're enjoying this breakdown of how Kimmel's been exposing the Trump family, do me a favor, pause the video real quick and hit that like button. It actually helps us reach more people who need to see this stuff. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're doing deep dives like this every week. Drop a comment and let me know which Trump family member you want us to cover next. All right, back to it. Here's what makes Kimmel's systematic destruction of Don Jr. so effective. He doesn't rely on insults. He uses Don Jr.'s own actions, his own words, his own products against him.
Don and Don Jr. had some father and son event this weekend. They went to the UFC fight at Madison Square Garden. There they are. Trump's being cheered on. With he's got Dana White there. He's got Tucker Carlson in the back. He's got Kid Rock in tow. And of course, there we go, a little fist bump. Don Jr. was thrilled to be a part of the group. He posted this picture of him and Tuck cackling in their blue checker print shirts. A couple of banana Republicans right there. And
the Cracker Barrel thing, that's Don Jr. pretending to be something he's not. The SpaceX incident, that's Don Jr.'s own behavior on camera. The Ukraine post, that's Don Jr.'s own words revealing his privilege and cruelty. The China merchandise, that's Don Jr.'s own grift exposed. Kimmel just holds up the evidence and lets everyone see who Don Jr. really is. A privileged Nepo baby playing dress up as a working class warrior while selling his supporters Chinese-made garbage and mocking world leaders who are actually doing something important.
And before I share this, I'd like to remind you, this is a post from the President of the United States. He wrote, as previously mentioned, we are giving serious thought to taking away Rosie's citizenship. She is not a great American and is, in my opinion, incapable of being so. Here's the thing, whenever he's spitting out, he goes back to Rosie. That's his safe space. He zeroes out. Calling her fat is what makes him comfortable. Meanwhile, she's about half his weight now. In fact, this photo he posted... She posted the photo. This photo he posted looks really more like him than her.
Then Trump gets involved. But here's where it gets really interesting, because every time Kimmel goes after Don Jr., it eventually leads back to Trump, and Trump cannot help himself. Remember, this is a guy who celebrated when Colbert got canceled, who threatened to revoke ABC's license over Kimmel, who claimed Kimmel's suspension was about bad ratings, when everyone knows it was political pressure. The pattern is clear. Late-night hosts mock the Trump family. Trump tries to destroy their careers.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Look at this. The Biden FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th. If this is so, which it is, a lot of very good people will be owed big apologies. What a scam. Do something, President DJT. Joe Biden planting 274 FBI agents in the crowd is diabolical, especially considering the fact he somehow did this 2 weeks before becoming president. For a brain-dead vegetable, he couldn't even sign his own name. Somehow Joe Biden was able to get a lot of stuff done. It's amazing.
In September 2025, after Kimmel returned from his suspension, Trump posted on Truth Social, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled." He continued, "Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? He is yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution."
Moments after we taped our show last night, the Mad Red Hatter wrote, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." You can't believe they gave me my job back. I can't believe we gave you your job back. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, telling an American company, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and that these companies can find ways to change conduct and take action on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead, in addition to being a direct violation of the First Amendment, is not a particularly intelligent threat to make in public. Ted Cruz said he sounded like a mafioso. Although, I don't know, if you want to hear a mob boss make a threat like that, you have to hide a microphone in a deli and park outside in a van with a tape recorder all night long. This genius said it on a podcast. Brendan Carr is the most embarrassing Carr Republicans have embraced since this one. And that's saying something.
Then the threat, "I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative." Read that again. The President of the United States is openly bragging about extracting money from media companies and threatening to do it again. That's not governing. That's extortion. The bigger picture. Kimmel's destruction of Don Jr. matters because it exposes the entire Trump family operation.
Not sure we're even allowed to show his neck on TV. Wouldn't it be funny if the FCC fined us for showing his neck on TV? Trump went on, "I never like taking pictures from underneath angles, but this is a super bad picture and deserves to be called out. What are they doing and why?" It's like he's a TikTok influencer yelling at her boyfriend for not knowing her angles. The photographer for Time could not be reached for comment. He is currently en route to El Salvador, but poor Kim Jong-un, his big day is ruined, and I'll tell you what, if he doesn't like the cover photo, wait till he sees the back of the magazine. I don't know how he's going to spank himself with that. Trump is threatening to make irreversible cuts if there's a shutdown, which, you know what, I was recently the victim of a government shutdown. They are reversible, I will tell you that.
Don Jr. is the perfect example of everything wrong with this dynasty. The fake populism. Guy grew up in Manhattan penthouses, went to elite prep schools, and now pretends he's just a regular guy who loves Cracker Barrel. The grift. Selling Chinese products to America. First supporters while demonizing China. The cruelty. Mocking a wartime president while never having done anything difficult in his entire life. The nepotism. His only job qualification is his last name, yet he acts like he earned something.
It's the show the FCC doesn't want you to see. We're doing something fun tonight. We're doing something unprecedented tonight. Now, although I think it's unprecedented, I did not bother to check. Tonight, Stephen is a guest on our show. I will simultaneously be a guest on his show. We thought it might be a fun way to drive the president nuts. So, there's no one working in the House of Representatives. The House has been shut down for 25 days, shut down by Speaker Mike Johnson, because there was a special election in Arizona won by a Democrat, Adelita Grijalva. Johnson is refusing to swear her in because if he does, they would be forced to vote on whether to release the Epstein files, and no one wants to be on record, and Trump, for whatever reason, does not want us to see those files. So if you're wondering why our representatives in the House are not at work, Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona did a pretty good job of explaining it.
Speaker Johnson is protecting pedophiles. That's what this is all about. Speaker Johnson is trying to cover up for pedophiles. Is that clear enough? Speaker Johnson is covering up for pedophiles. Speaker Johnson is covering up for pedophiles. Do you guys get that? Speaker Johnson is covering up for pedophiles. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
And when Kimmel points all this out, using Don Jr.'s own actions as evidence, what happens? Trump threatens the network, uses the FCC as a weapon, brags about extracting settlement money. That's the real story here. It's not just about jokes, it's about a family that cannot tolerate being exposed for what they really are. Kimmel's defiant response. When Trump threatened ABC after Kimmel's return, Kimmel didn't back down. On his second night back, he addressed Trump's posts directly. Only Donald Trump would try to prove he wasn't threatening ABC by threatening ABC, Kimmel said.
The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. No, they weren't. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. That I can't argue with. Shut the up. The freedom of speech is only for me. Do not interrupt the president. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? Who puts the network in jeopardy? You hear that? There's the threat again. This time straight from FCC Biscuit's mouth. He goes, he says, I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Only Donald Trump would try to prove he wasn't threatening ABC by threatening ABC.
He compared Trump to an 80s movie-style bully and said, I talk about Trump more than anything because he's a bully. I don't like bullies. I played the clarinet in high school. Then he made it personal. For those who think I go too hard on Donald Trump, backing Trump is like rooting for Biff from Back to the Future. I don't know about you. I'm with Marty McFly. That's the choice Kimmel's laying out. You can root for the bully, the guy who uses power to silence critics and extract money from media companies, or you can stand with the people calling out the grift.
For those who think I go too hard on Donald Trump, to the point where there are still a lot of people who think I should be pulled off the air for making fun of Donald Trump. So I want to explain. I talk about Trump more than anything because he's a bully. I don't like bullies. I played the clarinet in high school, okay? So I just don't like him. Donald Trump is an old-fashioned 80s movie-style bully, taking your lunch money. And if you give it to him once, he'll take it again. Two things he loves, lunch and money, okay? He will take that peanut butter and jelly sandwich your mom cut in half like a triangle for you. He will gobble it up in front of your face, and then he'll eat your little Ziploc bag of Oreos, too. And he'll take the note your mother put in your lunchbox, and he'll read it aloud to everyone. Oh, look, Mommy loves her little boy. And then he'll smile with a bunch of cookies in his teeth. And he'll grab you by your nipples, and he'll twist them until you have 2 holes in your Le Tigre shirt because your parents couldn't afford an Izod.
Before you go, if this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know about the Trump family, show some love by hitting that like button one more time. Subscribe if you haven't already, because trust me, we've got so much more coming. And drop a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Trump will ever stop obsessing over late night hosts? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.